What is going on, guys? Today I have a video for you all, and basically it's some hints and tips for the game The Last of Us. I know this is probably a fair bit delayed considering The Last of Us was released a while ago, but for those of you that haven't got the game or are still struggling on certain areas, I've just got some basic tips to get you through certain parts and just in general, like, better ways to play the game. I thought I'd do this just to help a lot of people. I've had 2 messages actually asking me for this kind of thing, so I will cover multiplayer as well, and yeah. So basically, when you start the game, the first 15 minutes for those, I'm not going to spoil it for all of you, but the first 15 minutes, you don't really need any help, but the rest of the game is basically what this video applies to. So the one thing that I can recommend mostly about this game is search every corner, search every room, search every crevice for parts and that kind of thing, because the upgrades that you do to weapons actually do have a big difference. So when you upgrade the shotgun and the pistols and that with extended magazines and that does help you a lot in certain situations. So take advantage of searching everywhere. So because the parts are kind of scarce, I would recommend searching all those rooms that you don't necessarily need to. Unless you're one of those people that just want to kind of play through the game as quickly as possible and finish it, then do it your way. But if you really want to get the most out of this game, and I recommend doing that, because once you finish it, it's not the same playing it again, and it's really good to kind of drag it out as long as you can. So collecting parts and making sure you have plenty of med kits available. Make sure you have at least one med kit at a time, because you never know when something will pop out and you'll need to use one. And it is really easy to die in these games, this game, especially with clickers and that kind of thing. So always keep a med kit and try and have as many parts to make bombs and Molotovs and the rest of that, because they do assist you a fair bit. Second thing would be to make sure you use your shiv on the rooms that need a shiv to open them. These rooms often contain lots of parts, and because you used maybe one shiv, which is a blade and tape, I believe, on the door, in that room I guarantee you will find the parts to make another probably 2 shivs. In these rooms you usually find a lot of parts and a lot of other things to make, like a lot of ingredients, I'm just going to call them. So definitely use shivs on these doors, like whenever you get the chance. Unless you don't have a shiv on you, then just ignore it, but when you do, make sure you do open these doors. Another thing is be careful on what you upgrade your medic, the pills, I'm going to call them, the pills that you collect. Be careful what you upgrade with them. Try and upgrade max health as much as you can, because max health really does come in handy in this game, especially when you get attacked by multiple human enemies at once, because it's really easy to die once you're under a lot of fire, and the more health you have, the better. Also, listening distance is fairly important in this game, as much as you don't think so. If you're not using the listening ability as very much, I recommend that you do. This ability is really, really great, and it helps not only in multiplayer, but a lot in single player to tell where enemies are, how many enemies are in the room, whether or not you should approach differently. So if you are using this ability, you can tell that there might be 6 clickers in the room. That way you can throw a bottle in the middle, they'll all run in there, and then you can just use maybe a Molotov cocktail or a bomb to take them all out at once. Saves a lot of hassle, and especially with the low amount of ammo in this game, definitely something I recommend. Also, especially with the ammo in this game, because there isn't a lot, most of the time you find yourself trying to conserve as much as you can, and you end up finishing the game with full ammo. So I recommend saving it as much as you can and being kind of prepared, but towards the end of the game, I would recommend maybe using it a bit more, just because when you finish, you don't really need the ammo anymore. Now, I'm not trying to spoil it here, but you can play as Ellie, which obviously most people should know by now. When you do play as Ellie, it is fairly different to Joel. You have to take a really different approach and try and be a lot stealthier, because you start off and you don't really have any of those upgrades like full health, more health, or different weapons. I do recommend trying to be as stealthy as possible when you're playing as Ellie, as you kind of have to be, otherwise you can get killed really easy. When you're as Joel, you have all those upgrades and that kind of thing, so it's a lot easier. Also, when you've collected parts and you get to a workbench, I do recommend using the parts to get weapon holsters. These weapon holsters allow you to have like two pistols instead of like one in your quick slot, so you don't actually have to open your bag and swap. This comes in handy so much. I cannot stress how useful this is. Because the ammo again is so scarce, when you have maybe 9 bullets in your pistol and another 10 in your magnum, and you have to swap your bag when there's like a bunch of about 3 people running at you or more, it is really difficult to try and find a spot where you can open your bag without getting mobbed. So by unlocking this extra weapon slot, you can easily like have 2 weapons there, and it's a lot easier in those sticky situations. Another thing for The Last of Us is to find the weapons that you find the best, because for me the shotgun that you get off Bill and the El Diablo were my 2 favorite, especially because they were most powerful. So I tend to upgrade the shotgun a lot more, and the hunting rifle was also really good, but the hunting rifle ended up getting a lot weaker for me in the end. So I would recommend maybe upgrading the armor penetration on the hunting rifle, because you do find a lot of enemies towards the end that are wearing armor. Another thing is bloaters. I know there aren't many of these in the game, and if you don't know what one is, then you'll have to find out. Basically, all I'm going to say with these is use bombs and Molotov cocktails, as bullets basically don't do as much as they should towards the bloaters. So I would recommend just using fire or the flamethrower. The thing about the flamethrower is it's really good for taking out clickers and the runners. It's a lot better than using it on the humans, because the humans are a lot smarter and they're easier. They don't often run at you like clickers and runners do. So with the flamethrower, if you just stand there and wait for them to get to you, then yes, you'll be able to shoot them with the flamethrower a lot easier, and you can be less accurate with it. That's basically all I'm going to do for today. Actually, sorry, I'll do a few others for multiplayer. For multiplayer, I'd recommend trying to get to the center toolbox as quick as possible, just because that toolbox in the middle usually has the bat in it that you can mod and put scissors through. This is really helpful at close combat and takes out people in one shot. So I do recommend trying to do that, and also saving ammo, because you do run out of ammo in multiplayer a fair bit. And also, another thing is to spend your parts on either armor or a special weapon. I find the El Diablo in multiplayer is pretty much overpowered, so if you're looking for an overpowered class, then yes, I would try the El Diablo and armor. But apart from that, that's all I've got to say, guys. If you do like the video, please hit the like button and comment what you thought of it. If you'd like to see any more Last of Us videos, then please let me know. I will probably do a review if I get some requests for it, as the game is absolutely amazing. If you haven't played the game already, I recommend getting it, and it is definitely one of the best games of this year. So thanks again for watching, guys. Subscribe in the bottom there if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in my next video.